With so many people outside, I highly doubt they are going to, but
responders. This weekend, I visited many different communities across the city and was able to see the joy of families and children celebrating Father's Day and Juneteenth. At the Paint the Hood Orange Block Party I attended in Pullman yesterday, Dr. Lynn Hughes of the Pullman Porter Museum stressed the importance of seeing what's normal in our communities. Normal is the connection and community building at the celebrations like the Mr. Dead's Fathers Club in Inglewood, Paint the Hood Orange in Pullman, and the 1865 Juneteenth Weekend Fest in Garfield Park. As Dr. Hughes said, violence isn't normal, it's the exception. As we uplift the normal, I also want to acknowledge the exception, violence in our communities. That's why we're here today. At the Urban Resilience Network Turn Center, I visited this space yesterday following its ribbon cutting and applaud the work of Bright Star Church and the community outreach. This trauma center provides counseling as well as helpline advocates that people can call if they need emotional support. Gun violence can happen in a matter of seconds, but the trauma resulting from it can last a lifetime. And that's why initiatives like this trauma center are so important. As we work with our community and outreach partners to build safe spaces like this in our communities, CPD will continue working to improve safety in every neighborhood. Our officers are working hard to address crime through enforcement efforts like gun recoveries, strengthen violent crime investigations, and arrests of violent individuals. We saw some success this weekend in some of our most high trafficked areas like the lakefront and beaches. But there's more work to be done as we make progress in our city's most vulnerable communities. I want to thank our brave men and women who continue to put their own safety at risk to protect others. Our officers worked one canceled day off this weekend, and I cannot thank them enough for their work. Together with Chicagoans all across the city, we show what's possible when we come together in fun and fellowship. There's power in each of our communities, and we know there can be peace also. The Chicago Police Department will never stop working to make our neighborhoods safe. I'll now turn to Nicole.
Good afternoon. I am so grateful to CPD. So on behalf of Pastor Chris Harris, as well as 110 employees at Bright Star Community Outreach, thank you to CPD for all of the work that you do to help keep us safe. I am equally excited to have you all here in the reimagined Carter G. Woodson Elementary School South, where you now have the Urban Resilience Network. Here we will house Bright Star Community Outreach programs, as well as up to 30 collaborative organizations who will be housed in this hub of hope, where we will bring resources to the community. We will bring resources around mental health support. We will bring resources around workforce development. We will bring resources around education, as well as initiatives that are going to address the social determinants of health. So here in this space, we will have collaborative partners that are going to help to bring healing to the community. Yesterday, we had over 1,800 individuals here who helped us to celebrate as we cut the ribbon. This is an important initiative to have in our community, one place where our residents can come with trusted partners to know that they can receive help. So behind you, I'm not sure if the cameras can grab it, but we have our helpline. On this helpline, anyone from across the city can call 833-TURN-123 and get help if they've experienced trauma or violence. We have community and faith leaders who lead that effort, who will walk everyone from brokenness to wholeness. In addition, we have ambassadors who go out on the streets when there are violent weekends, as we had, and they help to let the community know what resources are available. In addition, we're going to be housing and employing over 100 youth for the summer to help keep them safe and to teach them about financial literacy so that money can go farther than their paycheck. So we're really excited to have you all here to let you know about the resources in the community, to let you know that it extends way beyond what we do in terms of trauma support, but that definitely is the crux of what we do here at Turn. So thank you for being here, and we look forward to serving the community.
Thank you, Nicole. I'll now take 3 questions.
Superintendent, there have been 4 murders in the 11th district over the last 4 days or so. Any updates you can provide? I mean, obviously it's an area of the city that's seen a lot of conflict over various narcotics trafficking. Is that the case as you understand?
Some of it is still rival gangs, some vying for narcotic areas. We reached out to the mother of Timothy Lockhart to speak to her and give her our condolences and consideration as if there's anything else that we can do for her. We're reformatting some things. 11 has always been a challenging district. So we're reformatting some things only there, that we're going to take a deeper dive to see what we can do in 11 that works in some other places. 11 is kind of a place that the challenges just keep coming. So we're going to reformat some thinking and some strategies there.
Any specifics, deployment strategies?
I don't want to say right now what we're doing. We're in the process of doing that. We worked on it some this weekend. We have to look at the manpower and the resources that we have first.
Superintendent, 13 people killed, 75 shot over the weekend. It may not be fair, but already people are getting anxious.
Right.
With you and the mayor, been on the job
Right.
5 weeks. What's different, and what more do you need to bring those numbers down?
Well, I'm never going to say that we can't use more manpower, more resources. We're really working officers to a nub. We're canceling days off all the time, and we've never had a Juneteenth or a Father's Day that we looked at the same as we look at 4th of July or Memorial Day as far as what the resources that we have to put out. What keeps me encouraged, and I know this keeps the mayor encouraged, the various places that I've been, no one is feeling like this is a hopeless effort. No one, the exchange that I saw the officers with all the different places from Inglewood to the West Side and Garfield Park, everyone is still encouraged, and everyone is encouraging me to keep going, doing the things that we're doing. We know in some places it's not working, but what we also see is that we plan for things more happening in the evening. We do have officers out in the daytime also, of course, but we're having a lot of people who are just emboldened, and they're shooting people recklessly in the daytime also. We saw that. I responded on 79th Street, right near Kedzie, and that was something that somebody saw someone that they had a problem with, and they began shooting and ended up killing one kid. And those people who were in their car, they had weapons also, though. So they weren't completely innocent. So a lot of these people sometimes are a party to their own demise.
Superintendent, how long, I think people have a lot of patience and a lot of understanding of the mayor's multi-tiered strategy, but how long should they be giving this strategy before they expect to see some results? Well,
we're already seeing results. We're already seeing results. Like I said, everywhere that I go, and Mackenzie here from Inglewood First Responders, we went to a shooting on, I think it was 65th and Troop, somewhere in there. He was able to defuse a situation where a brother was shot in the leg. The family was going crazy, emotional, which is understandable, but that brings resources, more and more resources. We have to protect the paramedics, we have to protect the crime scene. So now he was able to defuse. So we're already seeing some of the benefits from it. We know that a lot of the outreach and street intervention, they're along the lakefronts. We had some at 31st Street. They helped us out greatly. We haven't had incidents there like we had before, and we're still just putting the same amount of resources that we had before there. So we are seeing some positivity in the 3rd district. We saw some in the 4th district. We saw some. So we are seeing some positive efforts in some places.
Super, can you speak specifically on the triple shooting on Gladys Avenue last night? What was happening, and is there a fatality in that case?
I believe right now that the young lady is still holding on. I believe she's on life support. Again, we don't know exactly the motive. We have to look deeper into the backgrounds of the other people who were there. I'm sure the young lady probably was not the target. Usually that's the way it is, but I can just say that the males that were involved are still okay. I believe she's on life support. That's just the latest thing, the latest update that I have.
Was it a gathering?
I don't think it was a gathering. No, I believe they were just walking along the street.
And can you mentioned that there was gun recovery and arrest. Can you talk about those numbers? How many guns were recovered? And then also to the families that lost their kids, their family members, there were 11 deaths this weekend and ages ranging from 15 to 58. What do you say to those families that are hurting and that are simply scared to walk down the street?
Right. We have victim assistance for those families, and it would be remiss of me just to say something that out of character. We have definitely give our condolences to the people who have passed from this gun violence. We definitely have consideration for the people who are wounded this weekend, and we look out for those families too. We have a lot of victim assistance programs that we kind of push those people to. A lot of times they don't want it, and they're thinking maybe revenge or something like that. But that's the thing that we try to diffuse with the first responders. As far as the weapons, I know over 40 weapons were recovered this weekend. In fact, just last night, the 8th District got over 8 weapons from just a traffic stop and charged for 3 or 4 people with those. And it was just a traffic stop. And I don't know if you've ever seen, or if you've ever been out and you've seen the police attempt to stop someone on a traffic stop, and then that person takes off and starts driving recklessly. Now, we have policy for no pursuit in that type of situation, but those people drive off recklessly. And we know that someone was just killed after a short pursuit. So we try not to do those things, but those are the people who are holding guns. They're not running for no reason, and those are the people who are holding guns or who have just committed a crime.
Last question.
Right.
Lieutenant, the policy or the practice of running the roof lights on squads,
Right.
I understand you're signaling to the public,
Right.
to the police presence, and maybe as also a deterrent, but sometimes it feels like every turn you make, you see blue lights, and it feels like the city is on fire.
I wish that was the case, that every way you turn, you saw police lights. I wish that was the case, because downtown area, we do it. Some of the lakefronts, we do it. Most of the time in the inner city, we don't do it because it's not really a useful tactic there. The amount of crowds that are downtown, some people visiting from out of state, they may want to see or feel some presence of police to feel safe, so that's one reason why we do it. But in the inner city, those communities, we usually don't use that tactic at all.
But is there a thought, just the idea that you can have a different take on it, that it
Right.
just feels like Michigan Avenue, that
Right.
what's going on now, what's going on now?
Right. Well, we haven't had any incidents, knock on wood, on Michigan Avenue in a while, so that's something that we can take a look at if people are bothered by it. We haven't got any negative response thus far from it, so we'll probably continue to do it until someone says that it's something. I know what you're saying. We don't want it to make like it's a police state, and that's why some people don't want the pod cameras with the blue lights flashing. We don't want it to be that way. Unfortunately, we're in a challenging place, and not just Chicago, but the whole country is experiencing these type of things, and that's not something that we're going to just draw to or make excuses for. We have to do our job here, and we know that it's a challenge. I would not have taken this job coming out of retirement if I didn't know that it was a challenge and that the challenge was ahead of me. It's not going to be easy. You're not going to always see the improvement right before your eyes. It's not always going to be as obvious as that. Sometimes the improvements are behind the scenes, and it's a slow process, and that's just the truth of it.
Can you say something about how this facility is going to help, just something about how this facility is going to help you do your job?
Exactly. People who have been traumatized, sometimes they don't even know. And I look to our officers also, because they're going from crime scene to crime scene after crime scene. So in that we need to get them some help also and make sure that they're good. But when we look at places like this where people can just call, there's no cost, they can call and be helped immediately. And I know that I'll let Nicole speak to a little bit more of that, so you can give them the specifics.
Absolutely. So actually in the past we've done training with CPD in the 2nd District to really help our officers who are dealing with traumatic situations. We went through every shift, so even into the wee hours of morning, just to give them some support so that they had the language and the understanding of what they needed if they needed support. But in addition, as Superintendent mentioned, anybody who has been affected by trauma or violence can call our toll-free number. Again, there's no charge, there's no length of time. You could have experienced trauma or violence yesterday, 10 years ago, or if you're honest about it, you could watch the news and be traumatized to come out of your house because you're not sure. That would qualify as somebody that we would help. So they can call here. In addition, we know that the cause of violence is not linear, and so we know that the answer is not linear either. So that's why we have a whole umbrella of supportive services here. If you're violent because you just need to put some food on your child's table, then we can give you workforce development training here, and we can help you to get a job. If you're just stressed out and you don't know how to cope, we can give you anger management classes or conflict resolution. So here we literally have an ecosystem of care that anybody in the community can have access to.
Thank you, Ms. Carter. Thank you, guys.
Is Ms. Carter C-A-R-T-E-R?
Yes.
Thank you.